and welcome to the second part in this series about the role of artificial intelligence in intelligent manufacturing, the digital journey, how to start it, and why AI can add a quantum level of efficiency savings to the already significant benefits that digital manufacturing technologies bring to manufacturing companies. We're going to be hearing from manufacturing experts and from manufacturers who understand and have experienced what AI-based Expert Factory can do. And we'll be discussing all this with Professor Iain Crosley, Director of Manufacturing at XpertRule Software, who leads on the company's core manufacturing product. Iain, welcome. How should companies view this process of digital transformation towards becoming an AI-enabled manufacturer?
It's very much a journey, and it's very much a case that people have to take it a little bit at a time. So try something, see how it works, see if that works for you, see if you get the expected results from it, then take another step and just rinse and repeat basically. It's very much, as I say, learning. And the way you can do that is by looking at what other people have done first, learning from their experiences, taking advice from people, and trying to apply it to your own situation, because everybody's situation is differently, so the priorities will be slightly different.
It's not a one step, it's a journey. It's a journey to make you into the digital era. It's a journey of transformation. So we will need to understand the real problem, what they are trying to address in the first place. It's always bespoke, but then you've got to start at somewhere.
The company's only around 12 or 13 years old, and around half of that time was spent really doing more development style projects that were trying to lead into longer term orders. As we got over that sort of 5, 6, 7 year mark, we got our vendor codes, we got on the quality management systems of some of the big players. We then had to start to up our game in terms of our operations and production, start looking at bigger volume, really, and compliance that went along with that. So one of the first elements is that we started utilising our ERP system a lot more in terms of our production planning, and then also feeding back data about asset utilisation, again from sensors from the machines, and really merging those two data sets at sort of morning production meetings. Have we hit what we actually said we did? I mean, at the start of that journey, we were down, sometimes around 60% asset utilisation through a sort of period of gradual improvement. We've actually got up well over 90% now on some of our production lines.
Iain, Roger and his team at AML Sheffield clearly worked on this process together. How important is it that companies engage fully with their workforce on this journey of digital transformation?
It's a very good point, that, Nick, and it's absolutely essential that everybody buys into this journey and everybody understands what they're trying to achieve. If it's driven top down, what tends to happen is people say it's my job that's going, people are looking for efficiencies, and they're looking for that by reducing the numbers in the business. The reality is very, very different. What people generally are trying to do is improve the working environment for people and actually make them do the things that they're really good at. So it's important that that is explained to people and that people are taken on that journey and people buy into it and become part of the team. And I think the word team is very, very important in this transformation.
Well, it was very difficult at first. There was a sense of Big Brother watching. So we had to overcome the fears from that aspect and explain to them that it was all about increasing the uptime on the plant, and as a result they would have more time for documentation, tea breaks and such activities that the operators like to partake in. It was also good to train the operators, so use the information on the platform to provide training, and that reduced their anxiety.
Iain, I thought it was interesting that Catherine talked there about anxiety. I wonder if there's another layer to that, perhaps that people are put off by the popular science fiction misconceptions that have grown up around AI, that it's about machines controlling us and taking over the world.
Well, absolutely. This is something that people always talk about, the myths of AI and how it can generate and regenerate and recreate, and combine that with nanobots, it will take over the world and it will go on its own journey. The reality is we're using AI everywhere. If you just take your mobile phone, you're using 5 different types of AI on your mobile phone every day. It's got eye recognition, it's got fingerprint recognition, it structures its data. So there's a lot of technology already there, and all we're using is the same technology. And what we're trying to do with AI, and this is what people really need to understand, is we are using it to aid people to do jobs. So where people make mistakes by repetitive tasks, you can use AI. Where you're doing a task that humans don't often do, and is a complex task, again, that can be created using AI.
So artificial intelligence is good at analyzing lots of data very quickly. Humans are good at analyzing strategic directions and they are good at making strategic decisions. But we humans struggle at some times when you had to monitor hundreds of different variables and then you had to respond within seconds or half a second. That's when artificial intelligence is going to work with you to help you to execute the processes and all of them. It's always going to be a coexisting environment. So that's how I see artificial intelligence role in manufacturing in the future. It's never going to take over the higher level strategic decision making, but it's going to be a really good assistance that's going to coexist with people.
We're really seeing an uptick in our revenue lines coming from the application of AI within our businesses. So, as I say, in terms of our contract manufacturing facility, that consistency we get, and in terms of the energy consumption coming down, but our yield and the performance of our machines going through, that's giving us a huge revenue uptick on that. But also, in terms of us selling, we're moving from being purely an equipment provider to being a partner to our customers as well. So providing that software on an ongoing basis and moving to a more subscription-based revenue model as well over the whole lifetime of the asset. It's fundamental for our contract manufacturing facility. We've set a goal of reducing our carbon footprint by 40% in the next 5 years. So without that, we'd be really struggling to bring that number down. But this gives us that insight into the processes that we run internally and gives us that ability to tweak those processes and to optimize them within those set parameters.
Expert Factory clearly assisting Hosokawa Micron on their search for greater efficiency and on their net zero journey. And I suppose, Iain, to conclude, that's the point, isn't it? Focus on what it can do for you, don't fixate on the technology.
Don't talk about the technology, talk about the benefits, and explain what you're actually going to do for them, what it's going to mean to them, and how they're going to achieve a benefit to their business. So really, don't talk tech, talk about benefits.
Iain, thanks very much. In the next part of this series, Iain Crosley and I will be looking at specific use cases where Expert Factory has been deployed and talking to the manufacturers whose business is benefiting from doing so. We'll see you then.